Hello and welcome to the morning sports briefing on Thursday, the 20th of May. Hi, I'm Paul and I'll be your host this morning. In the news today is a big shake-up in the Giro d'Italia overnight after the rest day. We've got news in the basketball from the NBA, NBL and Sal's NBL. We've also got signing and retirement news in the A-League. In Italy, we've also got some new appointments, and in the PGA also we've got the PGA Championship coming up. So this is your best way to start the day up to speed with all of the important sports news. So look out for today because our PGA Championship preview will be coming up today. Don't worry, I will not be the one, the expert in that. I've got an expert coming in who will be helping me to preview that tournament, the second major of the year. He'll also be bringing us daily reports from the golf as well for the morning sports briefings. Looking forward to that. That preview will be for our supporters only. So become a supporter of New Zealand Sports Radio at patreon.com/NZ Sport Radio to become, a supporter of New Zealand Sports Radio, because we are an independent production. We're not part of NZME or anything like that. Moving on then to the cycling, and yes, it was a big day in the Tour de France and what was being considered the Strade Bianche stage, where they had sections of the white gravel that is part of that race in the early season, the classic one-day race. In this one, after the day off, there was a break that went to the end again, and Mario Schmid, the 21-year-old, in his first ever season as a pro rider, picked up his first ever win as a pro rider with a stage of the Giro d'Italia. What a fantastic start for him with Quebecer Assos. He beat Alessandro Covi from UAE Team Emirates to the stage victory. In the overall classification, though, as I say, it was a big shake-up this weekend as Egan Bernal put all the other general classification contenders into trouble, particularly Remco Evenepoel, who slipped from second down to seventh in the general classification as he lost just over 2 minutes there. Alexander Vlasov is the only rider from Astana, is the only rider that is still within 1 minute of Egan Bernal in the overall lead, who rides for Ineos Grenadiers. So a big shake-up there, and I'm looking forward to catching the highlights of that on Sky Sports from overnight. Moving on then into the basketball, and over in the NBA, we had two games yesterday. The Pacers beat the Hornets 144-117, and the Celtics saw off the Wizards 118-100. That means that the Pacers and the Celtics, believe, have made it through. They got picked up their places in the playoffs. The Wizards will be up against the Pacers now to get that final place in the playoffs for the Eastern Conference. The Western Conference start off their play-ins today with the Grizzlies taking on the Spurs and the Lakers taking on the Warriors. Over in the NBL, and we had one game yesterday as the Bullets beat the Wildcats 61-88. It's a big win for the Bullets as the Wildcats sit in second place in the table and the Bullets down in sixth. An upset there for them. Today, the Breakers will be taking on the Kings in their first game back in New Zealand. So a big a big day for them. Their chances of making the playoffs have gone. But I say they'll be in action today in Auckland, their first time back since February 2020. So I'm sure they'll be enjoying that. Will be the big game of the season for them. It's also a big night for the the Sal's NBL. 3 games this evening. The Nelson Giants take on the Canterbury Rams. The Taranaki Mountaineers will take on the Hawke's Bay Hawks, and the Wellington Saints will take on the Franklin Bulls as well. Moving on to football news in the A-League, and we had 2 games yesterday. Sydney FC beat Melbourne Victory 2-0 to climb up to second in the table on 38 points. And Perth Glory beat Adelaide United 2-1 to still give them a chance of making the playoffs. Adelaide United in 4th place, Perth Glory currently in 8th, but 6th, 7th and 8th, all on 31 points. Only one of them, though, will make it into that top 6 for the playoffs. So all very close there in that one. The NRL is gearing up for action with the Cowboys taking on the Knights tonight. Don't forget to get your preview of all the action this weekend by watching the Standoff show that was live last night. Also, it's available as a podcast as well. Just search for New Zealand Sports Radio. All the morning sports briefings also are out as a podcast as well if you want to listen to us on your commute to work every day. Moving on to the rugby and over in Italy. And Franco Smith, the South African who was the Italy's head coach, is moving up to the head of high performance for Italy. And former All Black Kieran Crowley will move into the Italian head coaching role. He has spent the last 5 years at Benetton Rugby, learning the rugby culture and culture of Italy. So he's going to step up from the Benetton side to the national job. So I wish him all the luck, all the best in that one. The Italy finished last in the Six Nations and have not won a game in that tournament since 2015. So he's got a big job on his hands there. You have now started the day the best way to speed all of the important sports news. I say I'll be back at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning with the morning sports briefing, and we will be bringing you the Super Rugby preview show today, where we'll talk about the return of Frizzell and Laumapi for the Highlanders and Hurricanes, respectively. So check that out later today.